Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, I wanted to talk about some of those Jalen Milroe plays versus Georgia in the SEC championship game. And some of these are kind of like the more highlight plays, but I want to highlight some of the nuances in these plays that typically go understated or not really noticed at all. And so the first thing I'm going to point out is in that scramble that Jalen Milroe had to end the game, that 30-yard scramble in the fourth quarter where they were able to continue to run the clock out. So we're going to hop right into that play, which is basically Alabama has Jalen Milroe empty in the backfield, two tight ends. So usually you would think that this is 12 personnel where there's one running back and two tight ends. But Alabama actually doesn't have a running back on this field. So this is why I really wanted to highlight it, because they have three wide receivers, Jermaine Burton, Isaiah Bond, and they have Kendrick Law down on the bottom of the screen, which you can't see. What's interesting about this play, that of course you have the pre and oots blocking on the left side of the line of scrimmage, but this is basically a design quarterback power run play. It was tend to be a run from the beginning. Alabama kind of uses some motion from Isaiah Bond to kind of get the defense off guard and trying to figure out what they're going to do. And Alabama also pulls to right guard Roberts, number 77, and so Jalen Milroe is basically going to catch this ball. The fake to Isaiah Bonds got the defense thinking maybe it's going to be something to the sweep, so they kind of get some space in on the inside. They have their Dupree, the tight end, number 81, blocked down on the inside. They have Oots, tight end, number 45, or the H-back, basically block out to the left, leaving a gap in between that's to the left of the A-gap. And so Jalen Milroe basically now has to run through that hole there. But Roberts, the right guard, is pulling, and he blocks the only defender who was about to fill that gap. And now all Jalen Milroe has to do is to run, and actually a safety falls trying to come forward, and that actually allowed Jalen to get even more plays. But the thing that I really wanted to highlight about this play is that Jalen Milroe went ahead and slid at the end of the play. So being able to slide here helps Jalen Milroe to not run out of bounds and stop the clock. So this forces that sense of urgency, that need for Georgia to continue to fight to try to get the ball back so that their offense can try to get down the field. And I like that Jalen Milroe has been sliding more lately, protecting himself, which I think is needed. Don't want to take too many hits. A lot of people have highlighted that he is big. He is. But I still wouldn't want my quarterback taking all of those hits all the time. So with that said, let's talk about a play that happened earlier in the game. This is going all the way back to the second quarter here. Alabama got to a 4th and 4 after a long third down conversion. Well, not a conversion, after a long third down play that got them to 4th and 4. And so what Alabama wanted to do here is I'm surprised that they went for this route. They had, let me just break down the scheme here. They have, this is actually like a 4-wide set. So they have 4 wide receivers on the field, or I guess you can call it 11 personnel. Martin Niblack's out there, I believe. He's a tight end, but really he functions like a wide receiver. And they have Kobe Prentice kind of motion out to the right, where they have 3 wide receivers out there on that right side, and they have Jermaine Burton isolated to the left side. So this is a 4th and 4 play with the running back set to Jalen Milroe's left. What they're going to do is they're going to have Niblack and they're going to have Kobe Prentice run shorter routes underneath, like some drag routes, some crossing routes underneath, and they're going to have Isaiah Bond, who I believe is the far receiver right there, do a big corner route here. And so this corner route is designed to be isolated over here. They have their 2 other receivers run those underneath routes. Like I said, Niblack runs directly, like basically a crossing route right in front of Jalen Milroe. And that play would be the easy play to get, if it wasn't covered or that he had more room on the play. And then Kobe Prentice comes right behind that on kind of like a big kind of out and in crossing route across the field, or you can call it a big in route. And both of those are covered fairly well by Georgia. And so that leaves then, which I think this is what the play is intended to go for if it's there, man-to-man coverage, Isaiah Bond running out route against the DB number 6 here. So what happens, though, is that technically this number 6 is beaten by Isaiah Bond, but he's kind of trailing. So if Jalen Milroe throws his ball, I guess like directly at Isaiah Bond, there's a chance the number 6 could kind of catch up or get a chance to, based on the angle of the throw, knock it down or basically impact the throw on his 4th down play. So Jalen has 2 options. He can either throw it upfield and lead Isaiah Bond toward the end zone, and that probably would have worked here too, since he had so much separation. Or he can also throw it a little bit shorter but flat, so throw a flat pass. So instead of when you're running a corner route, you're going to run straight up the field about 10, 15 yards of the field. You're going to cut toward the sideline, at an angle. And what you want to do is, as a quarterback, you should probably want to throw that ball kind of more upfield, but toward the sideline, so your receiver can run toward it and catch the ball. Or you can throw it more level with the receiver, but so basically like to the side of him and a little bit flat. And so this basically causes the wide receiver to kind of turn it into a deep out route instead. And that's basically what Jalen Milroe does. Now, whether he did this intentionally or not, the outcome is still the same. The way this ball is placed, where it goes flat and toward the sideline, toward that right side, but not up the field. So this forces Isaiah Bond to cut inside and then go get the ball. And he's able to catch it and then convert that fourth down. I know there's controversy about whether or not he caught the pass. I'm not here to debate that. They called it a catch on the field, whatever. But either way, I just want to highlight that that's what happened on that play. Now, what's interesting is that it's possible that Jalen Milroe just kind of had like a rough ball here, and it ended up just being flat and toward the sideline, because that's just the way it came out. And what's interesting about the play is that he didn't really get a chance to set up that well. When he threw this, he kind of was leaning back a little bit and kind of armed this ball. And that's why I said I don't know if it was completely intentional that he threw it this way, but it worked out well. So what do you guys think? Was it intentional or was it not? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So let's go into another play. And what we're going to see from Jalen Milroe here is this is the fourth quarter. So we're just jumping back and forth here. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It's 1st and 10. Alabama's up by 3. On this play, there is 11 personnel, right? So you got Hill on the field, the wide receiver number 14. You got Jermaine Burton motioning out to the bottom of the screen. You got Isaiah Bond up there with Hill. 2 receivers stacked over there. You got Dupree, the tight end, on the left side of the offensive line. Rodale Williams, the running back, set to his left. And what you're going to get on this play is that Jalen Milroe is going to take this step back, and you're going to have a few different things going here. You're going to have 2 to 3 receivers underneath. Isaiah Bond is running a drag route underneath. Georgia's on the rushing 4. You have Rodale Williams running out toward the flat and kind of getting upfield. And everybody else ran deeper routes upfield. So Jermaine Burton, Hill, and Dupree. So on this play, it's a lot of good coverage here. So Jalen Milroe steps back. He's in the pocket. Alabama's offensive line does a good job of blocking. But Jalen Milroe steps up, just kind of stays in the pocket. He doesn't try to run. Georgia has a guy, a secondary member, near the number 10. If you look at the numbers 1-0, there's a guy waiting to see if Jalen Milroe is going to run. They also have another guy spying. So they basically have kind of 2 guys spying Jalen Milroe. He knows this. As long as you stay in the pocket, eventually you can wait for somebody to get open. But what's happening is that Jalen Milroe wisely sees those upfield routes are probably covered because they've been playing good coverage this whole game. If you watch the game, even though Georgia was committing like 5 guys at the line of scrimmage, giving Jalen Milroe a lot of time, their secondary members were covering very well until they couldn't, obviously. But on this particular play, Isaiah Bond is open on this drag route underneath because if all the rest of the defenders went up the field and they got 5 people waiting near the line of scrimmage on Jalen Milroe, what's directly behind that will be open. And Isaiah Bond is right here in the flat. Jalen Milroe wisely puts some touch on this pass and hits Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond catches the ball and gets a lot of run after the catch yards. Could have been a touchdown, but it ended up just being short by a few inches, and they end up scoring eventually anyway. And so what was great about this play is that Jalen Milroe could have gotten antsy and could have tried to run or move out of the pocket, but that wouldn't have been wise considering that Georgia was basically watching him very well. And even I realized, I say kind of like a spy. I don't even know if Georgia was really spying him with the other guy who basically bumped or kind of pressed Isaiah Bond as he was coming by in the drag route. That guy was kind of rushing, really. And that's number, I want to say 33 of Georgia. Like, he comes forward when he sees Isaiah Bond coming across the middle because he's watching Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe's hanging in the pocket. And so that guy, I don't know if it's 33 or 23, whoever he is, I think it's 33, he comes forward and he look like he's going to rush Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe wisely then throws the ball to Isaiah Bond, who's wide open on the drag right now because nobody is covering him after number 33 gave him a little, little push on the line of scrimmage. And so that play is a really good example of Jalen Milroe's maturity and ability to see what's open, what the defense is giving you, and he took it there. Really good play by Jalen Milroe. Now we're gonna go to another play with Jalen, and this is kind of early in the drive, so I'm kind of working my way backwards here, which is interesting with these plays. I just wanted to highlight them. I kind of got the clips at different times, and I wanted to kind of see what I wanted to talk about, really. And so we're going back to earlier in the fourth quarter, a little bit early on this same drive, 7 minutes and 27 seconds left in the game. It's 3rd and 2, so they converted some big conversions on this drive to go up 27-17. And Alabama's gonna be in, I want to say this is 12 personnel because they got one running back and I think they have 2 tight ends here. And they got Jermaine Burton down on the left side, running back set to Jalen Milroe's right. And Georgia has 7 people basically hanging out the line of scrimmage. And so they have 4 people then out back, probably looking to play coverage. So on this 3rd and 2, it's funny because I said running back is set to Jalen Milroe's right, but it really was Isaiah Bond. I don't know how many of you noticed that in game, but it was Isaiah Bond who was actually set to the right of Jalen Milroe here. And so on this play, they have. Actually, I want to highlight it a little bit more. What we see here is that they kind of do like the little the route combinations that forces the defender to choose who they're going to guard and leave some people open. And Georgia, because of how they played this play here, technically it's open, but they get a rush in pretty quickly. They get a lot of pressure on Jalen Milroe, pushes him up in the pocket. So they have, and it was only with 4 people. They have 4 people, and they got a lot of pressure. They actually were coming up, force Jalen Milroe up, but Jalen actually wisely, he's still looking upfield. So I love that about Jalen. Even if you feel like maybe he's not going through a certain progression or he's not seeing a certain thing, he's always got his eyes upfield. He's looking, he's waiting, he's looking at his players develop behind the scenes. And you can tell he's doing that on this play because he never drops down his eyes and then he looks to run. He's moving around to buy himself some space, and he sees Isaiah Bond coming up in front of him, and he does like the little shovel pass to hit Isaiah Bond. Now, what's interesting is that Isaiah Bond catches this, of course, and bam, nice conversion, really fun play. Everyone's really excited about it. What was fun about this play is that the combination, like the route, what Tommy Rees did here was actually pretty cool. So look at what number 14, so it's the wide receiver to the top of the screen, and look at Isaiah Bond, who's set to the right of Jalen Milroe. And I realized that it actually is 11 personnel because they kind of have the 3 wide receivers, but the running back, Jalen Milroe, I believe, is set down to the bottom of the screen like a wide receiver. He's kind of more like a decoy on this play. And so what they do with Jalen Milroe here, or what they do with Jalen Milroe's targets, I should say, they have Hale run, like he comes up, runs a slant route inside. They had Isaiah Bond, who takes off from Jalen Milroe's set to the right, his right position. He runs out, kind of does like a little C thing. He kind of goes out and flares back in right behind Hale. So one of these 2 are going to be open on an in-breaking route. You can basically call these slant plays. And so technically, Georgia has number 33, the linebacker, kind of sitting back, spying Jalen Milroe. So if people are wondering, did Georgia spy Jalen Milroe? They did. But because of that guy's not playing coverage. That zone is not going to cover Hale or Isaiah Bond. So eventually, of course, Isaiah Bond is the one that Jalen Milroe threw this ball to. But if you look at Hale near the beginning of this play, as Georgia is now getting pressure, so Jalen Milroe's all feeling the pressure, he can't throw this ball now. Hale actually breaks open in front of Jalen Milroe's, not quite his sight, because by the time Jalen would have needed to sit there, Jalen would have to just be sitting here while letting this pressure crash down on him. But he could have still been looking there. He kind of starts moving to the right because the pressure comes in heavy on his left side, meaning that if he stays in the pocket the way he is, all that pressure is just now sitting on him from that left side. So he kind of moves himself to the right. Unfortunately, that means that he's moving away from Hale and he can't make this throw anymore. Isaiah Bond wisely then moves back to the right with Jalen Milroe. And like I said, Jalen's looking down the field. He's looking to throw this pass or to get like this shovel play in. And what he does is Isaiah Bond comes with him. He's looking at Isaiah Bond to see if he's going to be tracking with him and moving forward. And he flicks that ball to him, and they get the first down conversion. That's a really good play from Jalen Milroe and Isaiah Bond on 3rd and 2 in the fourth quarter to move ahead on this drive. That's a good play. Now, let's go to the last play that I'm going to show you from Jalen Milroe in this game. At least from these highlights that I want to talk about. So this is in the second quarter. So we're going back near a minute under, and this is Alabama's going to take the 17-7 lead on Georgia. This is after that same drive where Jalen Milroe kind of threw that flat ball to Isaiah Bond that ended up being a conversion on a corner route. And on this particular play, they're in 11 personnel again. You got Amari Black kind of sitting to the right of the offensive line. They got 3 wide receivers. Jermaine Burton's on the bottom of the screen against number 6, Everett, the cornerback. Jalen Milroe, the running back, is set to the right of Jalen Milroe. Jermaine Burton's going to run a deep dig route in the end zone, like a really deep dig route. This is like a 20, 25-yard dig route. You're going to run 20 yards up the field and cut inside. What's crazy is that a lot of people are thinking like, man, like the cornerback just got beat here. The cornerback actually played really good coverage, in my opinion, on this play. What he did, funny enough, is he played inside leverage on Jermaine Burton on this play. And on that inside leverage, what happens is that he actually doesn't give Jermaine Burton really much room to run an in-breaking route. He technically was in the right position from the beginning. It's just that Alabama's offensive line held up so well, and Jalen Milroe made such a good throw that it kind of made it invalid, really, at the end. Because if you look, he stays inside of Jermaine Burton that whole route. Jermaine Burton kind of gets on the outside of him, then cuts back inside, and now number 6 is kind of like in a trailing technique on Jermaine Burton's hip. Still in good coverage, by the way, but Jalen Milroe throws a ball with very good velocity and high. That ball placement and that velocity made it so that number 6 couldn't get to the pass. This is a really good throw from Jalen Milroe. Like the right amount of touch on it, the right amount of velocity on it, and it's placed very well. Like if it was low, the defender would have had a better chance to get it, but because it was a bit higher and it was kind of more in front of the receiver, and it had the right amount of velocity on it, even though the DB played the right technique and the right coverage, the right leverage, they just beat it. Jermaine Burton got him with the outside toward the inside, and Jalen Milroe threw the ball exactly where he needed to take. He took advantage of his number 1 receiver here, running the route that he needed to run. And what I wanted to highlight too, what Jermaine Burton did was that even though the DB had inside leverage, he didn't just like let the DB concede that the inside was gone. Jermaine Burton actually starts running his route up the field by running inside. Then he leans toward the outside leverage, and then that's when he cuts back inside at the top of the route for that deep dig route, and they convert that for the touchdown. Alabama goes up 17-7. Fantastic throw by Jalen Milroe. Fantastic catch by Jermaine Burton, even though he bobbled it a little bit. And that ended up being a really big play and good play for Alabama there. So, well done. Well done. What did you all think about some of those Jalen Milroe plays in this game? How did you feel about his performance or just what Alabama did in general offensively? I'll let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.